Greetings and welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and this is me, Oberon, with Goth Tarot, my weekly collective look into the shadow issues of our lives, how we can come to understand them, understand ourselves, and see what effects that will have for us in the week ahead. So to do this, I do several card pulls from several decks, and if you were been here recently in October, you know that for this special celebration of Halloween in October, I've been pulling an additional card from an additional deck. So let's run through that. I'm just going to go ahead and put my chime down there, and I do a card from the Crow's Magic Tarot. I do two cards from the Gothic Tarot, and then I do normally, in my normal weekly readings, 3 cards from the Night Sun Tarot, and we'll explain what all those meanings, positions mean in a moment. For this week, I am using, as promised, my new, relatively unused deck, The Murder of Crows. And there's an additional question, and I've actually come up with something quite different for the reading, and that will be at the end, so more on that later. So let's get started then. Our first pull is from the Crow's Magic Tarot and represents what is your dark gift this week. The insights or wisdoms that you find in your dark philosophies. Revelations of life and death you appreciate, and the possibility of how you can share those with others. 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is the dark gift that you take the totality of your happiness, the gifts you find therein from all of this, the family you appreciate, the family that loves you as you are, whether that's your family of blood or the family you find anywhere you go in your life. For some of us, maybe only our co-workers or one in particular feel like family. For many of us, perhaps those we find in forums like this or internet YouTubes, Twitters, Facebooks, those may be our true family. Think about what happiness they give you, and think about how you can give back a little bit and show all of your family that you appreciate them and that you understand that they are a gift to you. So now we're going to move on to cards 2 and 3, taken from the Gothic Tarot. And together they represent your dark struggles, the challenges or limitations that hopefully will help you understand not only your own problems, but others too. And what are the lessons you can learn from such burdens or obsessions and still end up doing better? So we have card 2, the reversed Knave of Pentacles, and that's the Page of Pentacles in most decks, or that's how it's seen. And then the reversed Ten of Cups. Oh my goodness, that's kind of interesting because, of course, our first card, the Dark Gift, was the upright Ten of Cups. But here we have the reverse Ten of Cups in this position of the challenges or burdens. And it's associated with a page, a reverse page of Pentacles. And this could be saying that what limits you is an aspect of yourself, a youthful part of yourself, perhaps, how you saw yourself, visionary, but it's been corrupted somehow. Maybe it's been hard for you to understand your gift, to only see it as a struggle, that maybe you are not really seeing far enough into where the gift actually gives, and that you are currently still seeing a negative impression from what you do consider family. So this is a challenge to you. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between the two ideas there, and that it still shows what your struggle is finding the correct vision, finding and applying yourself towards what gives you value and security and love and happiness in your life. All right. So now we're going to move on to the final three cards. These cards are pulled from the Night Sun Tarot. And they represent three different aspects. One card for each of those. You know, it's always easier to riffle some decks when you're trying to shuffle them up than others. Some decks that we use on our show or for our readings are amazingly easy, and some are furiously difficult to shuffle. So we really do work at that. All right. The fourth card, the Dark Truth for this week. The reality that you understand, oppressive as it may be. And we have another page. It's the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is upright. So the dark truth is perhaps you are looking towards messages coming. Maybe, in fact, you are bearing a message. And I suppose the message brings news about things going your way. And yet, for some reason, whatever this is, you know, new jobs, new opportunities, news of old friends or associations, it's bothering you for some reason. It seems like you understand why it is here at this time, but this reality probably feels less than enlightening to you. And I wonder if it goes back to our original cards, the dichotomy between the upright Ten of Cups and the reverse one. And I would suggest that maybe what this truth, this message that I see in the truth brings is the news that maybe there's coming a clash within your world, within your emotions or atmosphere, between these two or possibly more different types of families that maybe you have. That one may be your biological family and one may be another family, or there may be several other families, the workplace or church or neighborhood family, as well as the friendly circles. There could be subgroups of those. But what I think the truth is that you're not really sure where these things integrate in your life, and you're feeling that there are things that pull apart, and you're hoping perhaps for some sort of guidance. And maybe that's what the quality of the message is that something will hopefully come to you that will make you understand what you need to do with these varied dichotomies. So enough of that. Let's move on to card number 5, the Dark Sacrifice. That which you may have to give up, that which brings you sorrow, but you understand in that feeling of sorrow, in that feeling of release, something better could come. And we have another page from this deck. It's the Upright Page of Cups. And I'm going to say that's quite interesting. We have a number of pages here. We have the Page of Wands, which I just revealed. And previously we had the Knave or Page of Pentacles. So we have 3 of the elemental pages. And this one is in a good position, more or less. I guess this is saying really what you may find you have to let go is a little bit more of that sense of innocence you have, of freshness you have, of moving forward mystically and otherwise into more emotional realms and experiencing them maybe as not exactly fantasy, but enchantedness in your life, an enchanted world that you find in your life. And maybe you feel that some of these messages, some of these qualities and dichotomies will be telling you you have to give up some of that. And I don't know that that's necessarily true, but you're going to feel this way. So maybe if you're drawn to things from one idea of the family or the other, and they resonate really with the sense of peace, serenity, and enchantment in your life, it may be that that other opposing factor is what bothers you and makes you feel that it wants to remove that from your life. It wants to tell you to be more serious about your life, more serious about the things you do. I say it's Halloween time, so I say you should live your fantasy. And for us goth types, no matter how dark your fantasy is, it has meaning for you, and that's all that really matters. So then finally, for the regular reading, our 6th card, the Dark Redemption, the final realization, and what have you hopefully learned from it? And it's the reversed 7 of Wands. So I often feel this one is definitely a challenging little card, that the final resolution may be, especially when I put it all together with all these conflicts and these different energies happening, that basically you're feeling like you're not able to hold your ground here, that you want to retreat a little bit to maybe regather what is important. Maybe it's time to retreat from a certain position you're holding. It may not be the end all or be all fight of your life or argument, trying to win the boss's favor over somebody who's trying to sabotage your reputation in the office, or dealing with your children being thought of badly in school, things like that. These things could apply to some of us, and I'm thinking it's saying, rather than trying to fight some of them at this time, if you have a realization that it involves this change that's going on in terms of who is more important as family to you, then I think it's time to retreat a little bit so that you can really absorb all of this. And that almost seems like the perfect lead-in to our extra card this week, which I mentioned was from the Murder of Crows. So I'm going to begin shuffling that deck. The Murder of Crows. Beautiful deck. There's extra cards which may or may not always be useful for certain readings. They're sort of help you do significations or signify aspects for readings. For example, past, present, that kind of thing. But I've decided for this reading, because of the style of spread I'm going to use, that I will use every entire card. And I think so that means there's about 80 in here. And the deck is quite big to shuffle, so I definitely did a lot of pre-shuffling before the show and hoping to give a little shuffle. But here's where we're going with the Murder Crows. Now, especially considering what I've seen there, and especially how I showed the dichotomies and how you feel about people important in your life that maybe are not exactly the same pool. They're really varied families or foundations of friends that are important for maybe a myriad of reasons. So the question for the Murder Crows overall, I am going to use the yes or no 3 aces spread. And if you come to the regular show, you know that we do this reading sometimes as a yes or no for people for questions that can really need to be answered yes or no. Or maybe mostly yes, maybe mostly no, maybe absolutely yes, maybe absolutely no. Now, of course, this would be a good time to remind you that our standard disclaimer course is that we don't give medical, legal, or other types of professional advice, and tarot truly is a snapshot in time. We hope to give you things to think about, to make you understand what's important in your life or what factors you might not always consider. Maybe it's not true at all, but maybe to you, you will find some resonance there. And that's really the main part of what we want to provide. So dealing with those cards, like I said, they really are hard, but I think I've got them now. So as I said before, this is a special yes-no extra card reading for the Murder of the Crows. And we're asking the idea, are you being honest with yourself? How interesting. Let's throw this up over here on the board so I can better show that. So we did get 2 aces, and it's a count off. You count off piles of 3 looking for aces. You only count to 13. If you haven't achieved an ace by number 13, you move to the next pile and you only go to 3 piles. So I did get an ace in the first pile, and that was the Ace of Swords. It means nothing other than looking for the answer of yes. I also got another ace. This one was reversed, but like I said, that is not the part that matters, and it's the reversed Ace of Wands. So an Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands. What these tell me is, are you being honest with yourself? Mostly yes. A strong chance you're mostly honest with yourself. However, the third card, which is not an ace, and sometimes these cards that don't show up as the ace in the final count may give us other ideas about the question, possibly even answers or insights. And that is actually one of the additional cards for the murder crows. It's beautiful in its terrifying crowiness. It's the Crow of Dusk. And since it is an off card, I'm going to have to read that one to kind of get a glimmer of what that one is. There's actually 4 extra cards, so that means there's 82 in this deck. It's a wonderful deck. There's 2 versions of it, and I have the limited edition deck, which has the extra red spills of color on it. Mine is signed and numbered. I'm in love with it. Okay, the Crow of the Dusk. Well, when this card shows, it means that you are giving attention to consequences and results. This is the energy of the evening. So it's what ends the day and brings closure and accomplishments. That's metaphoric, of course. But the card suggests looking at the direction we are walking, at the future, further ahead, after this day, at what may happen using foresight to better steer our choices and actions. So to me, mostly yes, about being honest with ourselves. And I guess the idea there is that we need to let some things be done. We need some things to be considered closed and accomplishments. Maybe it was all those ideas about, can I find those? These guys, the reversed, well, it was actually this way, wasn't it? The upright and the reverse, 10 of Cups signifying strong family energies, however you define your family. And I just sort of feel that's really what this final card is talking about. That maybe you need to have a sense of closure with what that family situations are. The good family, the good cop family, the bad cop family. So stay tuned for next week's Goth Tarot, and we will have the final additional pull. And that one is coming from the Ghost Tarot. What is a message from a spirit at this time? So thank you once again for watching Goth Tarot. And don't forget, we have a lot of other Halloween programs on all throughout the month. Don't forget to watch my other show, The Emotional Exchanges, on Fridays. That's at 7 a.m. And then Banshee's show will be on Sundays, The Material Matters, at 10 a.m. We're also going to have no happy hour this week because we are at the Detroit Witches Ball, which is in Detroit at the Hilton, right off of the Southfield Freeway. So check us out. We're at the Bazaar, and we're reading cards from between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Detroit Witches Ball. We will be here on Sunday with our regular live stream as well as tomorrow night, Thursday. So once again, take care. Darkest blessed greetings always.